So do you also use Elementor to get the details of your potential clients and SendGrid for your email marketing? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to create or update a SendGrid contact on Elementor form submission. So with here I'm running a real estate agency and we use Elementor to get the details of our potential clients and tenants. So now what I want is that as soon as a new form submission is made in my Elementor, automatically with the help of the same lead details, a new contact should be created or updated in my SendGrid account too, so that we can create targeted email marketing campaigns for all of our potential clients or leads. So to do this, we are going to create a connection between Elementor and SendGrid. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So do you also wish to learn this process step by step? Then let me take you to my computer screen. Welcome to my screen everyone. So as you know, in this tutorial I'll show you how to automatically create or update a contact in SendGrid whenever someone submits an Elementor form. This integration streamlines your email marketing efforts by ensuring your contact list is always up to date and ready for personalized campaigns. So let's get started with a really simple example. So as you know that I'm running a real estate agency and we are using this form in order to get the inquiries from our potential clients or tenants. So let's say that my name is Dummy User and I'm going to fill in this inquiry form. So I'm just going to click on submit right over here, and as I was going to click on submit, yes, you can see that we have successfully filled this inquiry form. It is saying submission was successful, right? So yes, now I'm going to put my SendGrid, and yes, you can see a contact has been created right over here automatically, which says dummy@pabblytunes.com. So this is the same email address which we entered right over here. You can see the same name too, which is Dummy User. So yes, in this tutorial I'll show you how to create this connection between Elementor and SendGrid. Okay, so you have simply created this connection with the help of Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software, as I've already mentioned in my introduction. So to learn this connection step by step, you have to watch this video towards the end. Okay, so I've simply opened the landing page of Pabbly by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy. So as soon as we're going to open the landing page of Pabbly, we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of stars free every month to explore the application. But over here I'm an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in, and as soon as I'm going to click on sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly, but in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we have to connect different applications, which is SendGrid and Elementor, right? So I'm just going to click on access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect account, and as soon as we're going to click on access now, it is opening my dashboard. And to start with this automation, we are going to click on this button which says create workflow, and as soon as I'm going to click on this button, it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I have already created in which I save my workflows. So if you wish to learn how to create a new folder or a subfolder, you can click on this hyperlink given right over here which says learn more, and now it is asking me for the workflow name. So I want the workflow name to be how to create or update SendGrid contact on Elementor form submission, Elementor form to SendGrid, and then we're going to click on this button right over here which says create, and as I'm going to click on create, it is opening the most important window for automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the commands, and as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers, so where we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. So by this you can finally understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger, and in order to start with our automation we have to select that trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm going to select it as Elementor form right over here because I want that as soon as a new form submission is made in my Elementor, automatically my workflow should be triggered. So I'm just going to search for Elementor and then we are going to select it, and as I'm going to select the Elementor, it is asking me for the trigger event. So basically trigger event is the event on which the workflow will start. Okay, so what I want is that as soon as a new form submission is made, my workflow should be triggered or started. And after selecting my trigger event, it has given me a webhook URL. So we're going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Elementor and our Pabbly's workflow. So what we're going to do is first we're going to copy this webhook URL, and then we're going to follow this help text that it is saying sign in to your Elementor account, locate and edit the form you wish to integrate. So as you can see that this is the form I wish to integrate with my Pabbly Connect's workflow, right? So I'm just going to open open this form, and over here you can see the button of edit with Elementor. So you have to go on this button right over here, and as it's going to open this button, it will open my WordPress account. Over here, as you know, that Elementor is a plugin of WordPress, right? So yes, you can see this is the form settings. So what we have to do is we have to click on this fields, and now we have to close this from fields. And now from the left side of the bar, we have to go on this actions after submit, and now it is saying add action. Okay, so we're going to add an action right over here, which is webbook. So I'm just going to search for webbook right over here, and as you can see the same, so we're going to add it. And as I was going to add the action right over here, you can see that it will appear right over here too. So I'm just going to open it, and now it is asking me for the webbook URL. So it's just going to paste the webbook URL which we copied from our workflow right over here. And after pasting this, we are going to click on this button which says publish. And as I was going to click on publish, yes, you can see that we have successfully created a connection between our Elementor and our Pabbly's workflow. But now it is saying waiting for a webbook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webbook response, we have to do a test submission and record. So what we have to do is I'm going to open my form and click on this preview form. So in order to test our connection, that is it successful or not, we are going to do this test submission. Okay, so for the first name, I'm going to keep it as test, last name as user. Over here for the email, I'm going to keep it as test@pabblytunes.com. For the mobile number, we are going to keep it as this. For the city, I'm going to keep it as Pune. And now for the types of the apartment, we are going to keep it as 2 BHK. And then for the date, let's say that I'm going to select the date as this, and we are going to click on submit. And as I'm going to click on submit right over here, yes, you can see your submission was successful. So yes, with this, we have successfully completed this submission. And now what has happened is that the details of this submission has been sent to our workflow. So I'm just going to open my workflow, and yes, you can see that Pabbly has captured a response A right over here. You can see all the details which we entered. You can see the first name, you can see the last name, the mobile number, the types of the apartment. Over here you can see the email, the date, and the city which we entered. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step, which is Elementor. And now what will happen is that as soon as a new form submission is made in my Elementor, automatically my workflow would be triggered, and Pabbly is going to capture the response for the same. So now further we are going to add the action step, but what I want is I want to create or update a contact in SendGrid on Elementor form submission, right? So over here for the action application, we are going to select it as SendGrid because I want to create or update a contact, right? So I'm just going to search for SendGrid right over here. As you can see the same, so we're going to select it. And after selecting this as my action application, it is asking me for the action event. So for my action event, I'm going to select it as add or update a contact, and we are going to click on connect. And as I'm going to click on connect, it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already created a connection between your SendGrid account and our Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, we are going to follow this help text. It is saying to get the API key, visit settings, API keys, create API key, choose full access, and click on create. Okay, we are going to follow the same. I'm going to put my SendGrid account right from here, and after this we are going to go on the left side bar and look for settings. And as you can see settings, we are going to go on this and then API keys. And as soon as we're going to go on towards the API keys, it is going to open all the API keys which I've already created. As you can see the same. Okay, so what we have to do is we're going to click on this button which is create API key right over here. We're going to give this key a name. Let's see, I'm going to keep it as testing right over here. We're going to give it the full access and click on create and view. And as soon as we're going to do so, yes, over here you can see that this is our API key. So I'm just going to copy this API key, and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. I'm just going to paste it right over here, and then we're going to click on save. And as soon as we're going to click on save, yes, you can see that we have successfully connected our SendGrid account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the list in which I want to add or update a contact. Okay, so for my list, I'm going to select it as Elementor leads right over here. And as soon as we're going to select this, we're going to move on forward. Over here, I've selected this list because I want to create this automation for this list. You can select your desired list. And now it is asking me for the email, the line items, first name, last name, unique name, and many other details, which is the details of my potential client. So we're going to enter the details one by one, but we are not going to enter it manually or copy paste it from the response and enter it, but instead we are going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping, right? So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Elementor as our trigger application. So we're going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only, and as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So over here I'm going to give you an example that it is asking me for the email, right? So let's suppose I'm going to enter the email right over here manually by typing it like this. Then this will not change with every new response received because this is static information and I've entered it manually. But if we're going to map this from the previous response, suppose I'm going to open my previous response, and as you can see the email. So let's suppose we're going to map this email from the previous response, then this will definitely change because my previous response will also change. So that's why we do mapping right over here to run our workflow in real time. And after mapping the email, we are going to move on forward. It is saying alternative emails. So no, I don't wish to map. So we are going to move on forward. For the first name and last name, we're going to map the name of the lead. I'm going to look for name, and as you can see first name test, we're going to map it. For the last name, we're going to look for last, and as you can see user, so we're going to map it. And after mapping this, we're going to move on forward. Again, it is asking me for any other details. So no, I don't wish to add all of these details. Directly, we're going to enter the phone number. I'm going to look for phone number in the previous response, and as you can see the same, so we're going to map it. We're going to move on forward. As you can see that I've already entered the details which were required or I wished to fill in. If you wish, you can definitely enter all of these details too. And now we're going to click on this button which says save and send test request. And as soon as I'm going to click on this button, yes, you can see that we have received a positive response that we have successfully created a new contact in our SendGrid with the same details received from the Elementor form submission. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my SendGrid account and check for the new contact created. So I'm just going to open my SendGrid account. We're going to go back towards the contacts right over here. So I'm just going to go towards the contacts right over here, and as it's going to go towards the contacts, we're going to wait for a few seconds. And yes, over here you can see all the contacts. So I'm just going to refresh the contact counts right from here, and yes, you can see Elementor leads have turned into 2. So I'm just going to open this Elementor leads, and as it's going to open this, yes, you can see a new contact has been created which is test@pabblytudes.com. So I'm just going to open this, and yes, you can see the same first name which we entered, the same last name, and the same email which we entered. And you can also notice the phone number. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and now what will happen is that as soon as a new form submission is made, automatically a new contact would be created or updated in my SendGrid too. But now I'll just test this workflow once, and this time I'm going to give you a real-time example. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open my Elementor form once again. We're going to do another test submission with the new details. So let's say I'm going to keep the name as demo, last name user. For the email, we are going to keep it as demo@pabblytudes.com. Okay. For the phone number, we are going to keep it as this only. For the city, let's say Bangalore. This is the types of the apartment, and for the date, let's say we are going to select it as this. We're going to click on submit, and as I'm going to click on submit, yes, you can see submission was successful. So now what has happened is that Elementor has sent the details of our test submission to our workflow. Pabbly captured the response, triggered the workflow, and further created a new contact in our SendGrid account with the same details. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my SendGrid and check for the new contact created or updated. And this time we are not going back to our workflow and clicking on save and send test request. I'll directly open my SendGrid account right from here. We're going to go towards the contacts once again. We're going to refresh this Elementor leads contact count right over here. And yes, you can see that it has turned into 3. So I'm just going to open it, and as I'm going to open this, yes, you can see a new contact created which is demo@pabblytudes.com, where you can see the first name, last name, or we can see the email and the phone number which we entered. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and now I'll just summarize this workflow for you once. So the trigger application, we selected Elementor. For the trigger event, we selected new form submission. For the action application, we selected SendGrid, and then for the action event, we selected add or update a contact, because I wanted that as soon as a new form submission is made in this property inquiry form, automatically with the help of the same submission details, a new contact should be created in my SendGrid account too. And yes, we were successful with our workflow too, and we've also tested this in real time. So yes, this was it for the video, and if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching.
So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.